Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Batgirl issue 35. Before I start talking about Batgirl, I just want to give you guys a couple of updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 68, and it will be a little late this week because I'm going to New York Comic Con, so there'll be a lot of coverage for New York Comic Con, lots of videos, but that also means that my comic book reviews are going to be a tad bit late. I'm going to try to get the individual reviews up as quick as possible. I read 4 issues today. Hopefully I can read some tomorrow also. So it just depends on time and how this weekend goes, and we'll see. So just expect a review sometime this weekend or, Monday the latest for Comic Uno episode. So I want to let you guys know that this is the last week this is going to happen, then it's going to go back to a regular schedule. Also, don't forget to back up my Kickstarter for Like Father, Like Daughter, where I'm working on my own comic book, and that'll be annotated also. Let's talk about Batgirl issue 35. This is something I've been not looking forward to, honestly. As you guys know, I'm a humongous Barbara Gordon fan, and I've loved Gail Simone's run on Batgirl. I think she stayed true to the character and really was the only person that could bring her back as Batgirl and not Oracle. I think that's how people accepted it, and she had an awesome run. And really ended it really well with Batgirl Future's End issue. I thought it was great. But with this, I saw the cover. We're looking at the cover right now. The Batgirl's taking a selfie, and she has a new costume. Now, how do I think about this? First of all, I really like the art. I do like the art style. I think it's pretty cool. But, her taking a selfie, this is not Batgirl we know, so I was a little worried about it. And, I kept the open mind, though. I didn't want to say, oh, I'm going to hate this, because I don't want to say that. It's Batgirl. I want to love it. So I kept the open mind and keep that in mind. Let's talk about the issue. So with this issue, we can see Batgirl's going, Barbara Gordon, she's going back to college. I don't really know why, but she wants to go back. And she had a fun night. She got drunk, and, she hooked up with guys she didn't really want to, and that's what's going on with Barbara Gordon. But at the same time, someone stole her computer. So she's got to figure out who stole her computer and why. And by the end, she does defeat this villain, but finds out there's a bigger villain behind this that actually knows Barbara Gordon's identity. And somehow Black Canary gets in this also. She becomes a roommate because Barbara Gordon pretty much screwed up and didn't blow up the van, but pretty much did. Blew up the van where all her belongings were, which was also where Black Canary lives. So they're not on the greatest terms right now, and that's pretty much the issue that we get here. And what did I think? I'm actually really torn with this issue, because there's things I really did like about this issue, and there's some things I really did not like. So let's just get into the negative, and then we'll get into the positive. Negative, I hate the language here. I don't like how hipster it is. She's wearing the hipster glasses. She says bae, hashtag this. The villain was a joke. Like, Barbara Gordon has totally taken out stronger villains than this. And I think that's a big negative, is that she feels really out of character. She honestly feels like two characters at times. There's some moments when she's looking back in the past, or, doing her brain thing she usually does. And when she fights, it reminds me of Barbara. There was this moment where she's trying to get this guy who stole an iPad. That moment actually felt like Barbara a lot. When she was searching the room to find out what she did, there are some moments of that I thought felt like Barbara. And I think her interaction with Black Canary felt like Barbara also. But then there's parts where she gets drunk, and she's in college for, no reason. She's a very smart person. She's already been to college, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know how it is in the New 52, but in the pre-New 52, she's had a lot of degrees. She doesn't need to go to college again. So the only way I could accept her going to college is if this was undercover. I still don't understand why she's in college. I mean, she's her late 20s in New 52. Actually, they never confirmed her age, but I always thought she was in her mid-late 20s. She finished college, let's just say that. There was no explanation on why she was going there, and then, the character that was created by Gail Simone, the roommate, she was kind of thrown in here randomly, and it felt really unorganic how they did that. Yeah, so that's the negative. She feels very out of character at times, and it's really hard to accept that as a Barbara Gordon fan, because it seems like we're degrading the character. She's gone through so much. She's definitely different in Batman Eternal and all these other Bat titles, but she seems like a completely different character here. So very out of character. what's the good things? I love the action sequences, and I actually really do like the art style. Do I like the art style as a Barbara Gordon book? It feels like an Elseworld Barbara Gordon book. This feels like year one Barbara Gordon in a way. And, you know, I actually did like the artwork a lot. I thought it was really cool. I still don't understand why she made a costume, you know, like she did in year one. But whatever, she made a costume that's weaker than her old one. But anyways, yeah, I really did like the artwork. There's some really great action scenes here. I loved it. You know, that actually did boost the book a lot higher for me. Also something I really enjoyed, the cliffhanger was really cool. I'm always a sucker for someone trying to find out someone's identity in superhero books. I always think that's a really cool tension in a book. So I'm curious of that mystery of who's trying to figure out her identity. And I'm really curious, I'm hoping this is like, there's a reason why she's out of character. And people are saying bae and hashtag and all that fun stuff. I'm hoping there's a reason. And maybe this villain has to do with it. You know, this is me really hopeful thinking here. But one of my favorite parts that really made the book for me was Black Canary and Barbara Gordon. I really liked that they brought this friendship back. I thought Black Canary was really fun here. And she was in character for the New 52. I won't say she's the character that we all know and the friendship we all knew from years back, because it's not. You know, the New 52 relationship is very different, and I accept that. You know, we can't, you know, it's a New 52. Sometimes it got good things, sometimes it get bad things. And I thought the relationship is kind of in the middle. It's not horrible, but it's not great either. But I think this actually could be a book where this relationship does grow for Black Canary and Barbara. And I think it'll be fun to see them living together. And I thought there's some really fun parts here. So I did like that scene a lot between Black Canary and Barbara. I'm excited to see that relationship grow here. So overall, there's some fun aspects if this was a different character. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm obviously going to continue to read it. I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still not as good as I want it to be either. But I want to see where this creative team goes. I'm still a little upset how they changed the character, but I'm hoping there is an explanation as the series goes on. So overall, I'm a little torn apart by it. I say give it a try this first issue and see what you think, speculate. I give it 3 stars. I didn't think it was horrible, even though there's some horrible things here, but I think there's some things that made up for it also. Alright, so I know this is a very long review, but I had to vent out my feelings on that one. So I gave it 3 stars. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. And guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno and the rant situations. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also in the description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to back up the Kickstarter for Like Father Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.